Well, some of you guys thought I was bluffing when I said I was gonna do this. What's up, guys? It's me, the AO Elite Double X Prince, here to start off the reviews for the Marvel Cinematic Universe leading up to the Avengers. I promised I was gonna do the first one after Mania. Of course, Iron Man being the first one, the one that started it all. I will stop around Thor Ragnarok. I'm pretty happy with all the stuff I said about Black Panther, so there's no reason to do it again. But let's talk about the one that began everything, Iron Man. So the plot here is basically a guy by the name of Tony Stark, who happens to be what is soon to be uh, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist, or something similar to that he said in the Avengers. It was basically the story here is he invents a big weapon to finally end all terrorists. And sure enough, the terrorists this whole time have been stealing his shit and using him against them. Now it's cool that they started with showing the whole kidnapping to Iron Man, and then they because you feel sympathy for Iron Man, but then you later on see the kind of guy that Tony Stark is. Which he was cocky, he was an asshole, he was a bitch. He just like gambles all the time, doesn't care about what he gets, he disrespects people, and you're like, man, this guy's kind of a dick. And I was like, damn, this is a guy we're supposed to feel sympathy for. But it made sense for the story going forward, because afterwards we get that big circle on his chest. I don't know, you can see my chest like right there. So yeah, basically he has that thing on his chest, which keeps him alive. And at the time he had like a big ass battery that he had to carry. And this is when we get introduced to one of my favorite characters in the whole show. I mean the whole movie, Yinsen. Basically, in Iron Man 3 he actually makes a cameo, but in this movie, he's basically like, we actually met once. You probably never remember. You're Tony Stark. And then afterwards, he's trying to find a plan to escape. He's trying to find a way to escape this facility with the terrorists, which happens to be Hydra down the road. That's when they turned the first Iron Suit, which made sense. He basically built a big ass like Iron Man suit in a cave with Yinsen. And that's when they escape. Yinsen unfortunately dies, which sucked. I was like, oh, this sucks. But now Iron Man escaped, and he's back to square one. So when he gets rescued, he's back to his life with Happy Hogan, War Machine, or AKA Terrence Howard, who thankfully they got rid of Terrence Howard and replaced him with Don Cheadle, because Terrence Howard was a kind of a letdown. I can't imagine what would have happened if we kept Terrence Howard around. But I don't know. I don't hate Terrence Howard. Hell no. Well, what other characters? Leslie Bibb plays a hoe that sleeps with Iron Man. Who, I mean, she sort of brings stuff to the plot, but she was really boring. I mean, you put Leslie Bibb in anything, and you're basically just saying I'm wasting my time. Even Pepper Potts, Gwyneth Paltrow, in the beginning, she's like, yeah, it's my job not to take out the trash, which was a great line. Because that's basically what Leslie Bibb is, trash. That's my personal opinion. So that was great. And basically, Tony Stark has done Stark Industries for years, but he closes it down because now he's tired of terrorists taking his stuff. And now we have a chance to get to know what is Tony Stark going to do. He's going to, of course, make another suit and finally try to stop these terrorists. It was nice seeing him create these suits. It was really cool. It was fun in the cave. It was great here. When he's like doing sample videos, it was awesome. I really enjoyed it. And eventually the suit becomes the classic red and yellow. At first it was just silver, and he's just testing it out, seeing if it worked. And that interaction with Tony Stark just being himself was just fun. And it was great. Like, Robert Downey Jr. was easily the perfect casting for Iron Man. And it's shocking because this guy went from absolutely nothing, after getting drunk and high all the time and back in the early days. And eventually they found the perfect role for him, which was Iron Man, because he basically is Tony Stark. You can't look at Robert Downey Jr. and not think Iron Man at this point. That is just freaking insane. And they had a promising director, Jon Favreau, who recently made the movies Made and Elf at the time, which were good movies. I mean, they were pretty solid ass movies, but I couldn't imagine this guy working with CGI. The CGI here is better than some of the suits we get later down in the Marvel Cinematic Universe with Iron Man. The suit looked real. It looked convincing. I really enjoyed it, and basically, Iron Man's trying to stop the Hydra people, and but he's also trying to go undercover because Iron Man doesn't work with friends. He never does. He never will. Or so we think later down in the road. Now I saved this guy for last. Jeff Bridges, Ironmonger. It was a bit random to see him working with Hydra. It was like the most random shit, but it made sense that he's like, this is bullshit. How would you close Stark Industries? I worked my ass off and now you close it. So you feel why he hates it. As far as like turning him into the Iron Monger, it really did become a trend in the future movies to come, and it was really lame. I'm sorry. Like, I mean, I like the fight of how Jeff Bridges trying to completely annihilate Tony Stark's character, or Robert Downey Jr.'s character, Tony Stark. So that was cool and all, but it really just shows that Jeff Bridges is, I mean, his character in this movie was like really dumb. And I'm not saying like, oh, this, and this became a trend of like shitty villains. So, what to expect. So, anyways, he kills him. We have a giant shooting beam up the sky, like future moves to come. So, I don't know. I'm already getting the negatives out of the way just because I would just want to like talk about, because this is a good movie. I really enjoyed it. It was a solid way to kick off the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it was great because we didn't even know that this was going to lead to something great. Throughout the movie, we get Agent Phil Coulson, Clark Gregg, I think that's his name. Looks kind of like Will Arnett now that I think about it. But yeah, basically throughout the movie, he's trying to talk to Pepper Potts about like, hey, we should have an interview and stuff. So, and eventually he keeps saying the name of his company, but we keep forgetting what it is. And then he just said, just call it S.H.I.E.L.D. And I was like, S.H.I.E.L.D.? At the time, Marvel's Ultimate Alliance video didn't come out, so I knew what S.H.I.E.L.D. was. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. That's really interesting. So anyways, the movie ends, and basically it ends with Iron Man, or Tony Stark, confessing that he is Iron Man, getting all the spotlight once and for all, as always. And it was a great ending. It was a fun movie. It was a great way to kick off the Marvel Cinematic Universe. One of the best origin stories out there, because honestly, the most entertaining parts of this whole movie was just Robert Downey Jr. playing Tony Stark. I really enjoyed his character. And it was a great way to kick off this universe. And then we move on to the end credits scene. Now, the first time I saw this movie was in a drive-in. I still remember this. We saw Iron Man, and then we were waiting for The Dark Knight to happen. For some reason, they put both those movies together. Marvel and a DC movie at a drive-in. Great week, though. Anyways, so we were waiting for Dark Knight, and then since we're waiting for the credits in the drive-in, we see an end credit scene. I was like, that's weird. Usually these happen like in the middle of the movie, not at the very end. But sure enough, at the time, Vision was Jarvis. But yeah, so Tony Stark talks to Jarvis, and then he shuts down. Like, what the hell? And basically, Nick Fury comes out. Nick Fury shows up. Samuel L. Jackson. It was insane. I marked the hell out. I was like, holy shit. And then he's like, I'm here to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative. So I was hyped as fuck for Iron Man 2. I knew for a fact Iron Man 2 was going to happen. I was like, we were just shocked that this movie was even that good, because this was honestly the game changer for superhero movies. After this, we started getting good shit from Marvel. Like, after like the last good movie we had from Marvel at this point, the last really good one was probably Spider-Man 2. Like, just think about it. X-Men Origins Wolverine. Ugh. The Fantastic Four, hell no. You know, and I'm not saying that DC was doing better, but like, they had Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. Superman Returns, take it or leave it, but it was better than some of the shit we got from Marvel at the time, Spider-Man 3 and shit like that. But anyways, Iron Man became a big household name after this. We would never imagine, because I remember people talked about Iron Man like, oh, this is just like some B character, and now it's insane because now we see Iron Man as one of the top 10 Marvel superheroes. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really know who Iron Man was. I thought he was just cool. I liked him in the video games, I liked him in the comics, but after seeing his charisma, it just worked well, and I really enjoyed it. It was a really cool um, movie and a good movie to watch. It might have some flaws, but overall, saying that this is not an awesome movie is insane. Yeah, this is probably gonna be like a 9 out of 10. Yeah, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. It had some little problems. I didn't like the villain and stuff like that, but overall, I had a blast watching this movie, to say the least. So, good job. Yeah, good job, Marvel. You guys gave us a hell of a movie. It was a great way to start off the Marvel Cinematic Universe. More Marvel Cinematic Universe movies to come. Next up is, of course, The Incredible Hulk, which, yeah, let's get to it. Yeah, anyways, that's it for my first review of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's me, the ALE Double X Prince. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and until then, I'm out.